Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody else. This is John Paval with this week's Access Arts live roundup of Organ Livestream Action for the week of October 27th to November 2nd. And online is going to be just bursting with interesting live stream action going on this week that I can't wait to start telling you about. Before I go any further, let me remind you, if you're watching this on Facebook, please like the video. But if you're watching us on any of our other platforms, and we know you do because you're always liking our videos, please don't stop there with liking the video. Please follow and or subscribe to Access Arts Live free of charge anywhere where you watch us on YouTube, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, or LinkedIn. Our algorithm could use some help in reaching more people. Now, having said that, we have got live stream action going on from later today from Toronto, but from London, from Moscow, from Paris, from San Francisco. Grace Cathedral is live streaming this coming Sunday. So there's lots to tell you about, and I am happy to do so. And I'll be showing you pictures of most, if not all of them. And all of these live streams that I'm going to be telling you about, they're all free of charge, folks. None of them cost you a penny. How about that? So let's get to the first of them and move right along, as they say in America. Jennifer Goodine. Tuesday, today, October 28th, St. James Episcopal Church in Toronto live streams Jennifer Goodine, the director of music and organist at St. Luke's Anglican Church in Burlington, Ontario. That'll be at 1 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, 10 o'clock Pacific Time, 6 o'clock in the evening here in Europe, just about an hour from when I'm doing this live stream now. She is not only the director of music at St. Luke's Anglican Church, she's also the much loved music director at the Burlington Civic Chorale. You can look up their website and hear how they praise her to the skies. Before that, she was music director and organist at various Anglican, United Lutheran, and Baptist churches, moved all over the place in Ontario, Alberta, and Nova Scotia. We don't know what she's going to be playing. We know the organ has 5,101 pipes, 87 ranks, 67 speaking stops, over 4 manuals, and 6 divisions. It's basically a rebuilt organ, rebuilt by L.I. Phillips and Associates about, 50 years ago, 1976. Enjoy. Then on Wednesday, we have more live streams to tell you about. But I don't have a photo for the next one. I could not dig up this guy's photo, no matter what I did. Wednesday, October 29th, the Temple Church London live streams Michael Phillips, organist and composer at Malvern College. Maybe playing some of his own compositions like he did last week. That's Wednesday, October 29th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon European time, 9 in the morning on the East Coast, 6 in the morning on the West Coast, 11 o'clock at night down under in Australia. Why do I say maybe he'll be playing his own music? Well, they don't tell us what he's going to be playing. But last Wednesday, he was at Chester Cathedral, where he played a suite of his own works for organ called Murmurations. He teaches at the school at Malvern College, and he says he's always looking for new ways to provoke interest in the organ, and one way is he composes things for new things. The organ is a Harrison and Harrison organ, which arrived by rail from Scotland in 1953. It was originally built for a ballroom up there in Scotland in 1927, and the legendary Marcel Dupré came all the way up from Paris to inaugurate it. How do you like that? Completely refurbished about a decade ago by the Harrison and Harrison people. Also, on Wednesday the 29th, though, we have another live stream for you. A very interesting live stream with a very interesting organist. Wednesday, October 29th, Queen's College, Oxford, live streams international concert organist and scholar Damin Spritzer from the University of Oklahoma and St. Matthew's Episcopal in Dallas, Texas, playing rock, René Louis Becker, Georg Böhm, and Johann Pachelbel. That's at almost the same time. It's at 2:10 in the afternoon European time, and corresponding times in the United States. Spritzer is professor of organ at the University of Oklahoma, artist in residence at St. Matthew's Episcopal Cathedral, but they just don't want to let go of her. And let me tell you what she's going to be playing, because it will lead us into telling you more about her. She'll be playing some Bach, PS Dog, an organ piece, BWV 572. She'll be playing another Bach piece, BWV 676, which is Allein Gott in der Höhe sei er. I think that means you alone, God, are on high. And then she'll be playing a couple of pieces by René Louis Becker. So I find this out and I figure, well, I'll look up some René Louis Becker on YouTube and maybe play a little bit of her music to open my live stream. And there's nothing on René Louis Becker at all. This is an Alsatian American composer who lived from 1882 to 1956. So basically a 20th century composer. And the thing is that Damin or Damin, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, sorry if I get it wrong, Madame Spritzer, this composer was the subject of Damin's PhD thesis. And she published a multi-volume critical edition of Becker's organ music. And her first two albums, she's got 8 albums she's recorded. The first 2 of them were the music of René Louis Becker. And what she'll play is the first sonata for organ in G, opus 40, a preludium festivum, or I guess, and a scherzo, which is homage to J.S. Bach, actually in French, the hommage J.S. Bach. So, and what she does is with the recordings is she will go to Europe and record particular composers in particular locations where she's playing historic organs. So she first recorded some of Becker on a Cavaillé-Coll organ at Saint-Salomon-Saint-Grégoire in Pithiviers, France. Interesting. Anyway, so she'll have fun playing the Frobenius organ at Oxford, at Queen's College, Oxford. She'll finish up playing Böhm's Our Father who art in heaven for 2 keyboards and pedals, Pachelbel's Chaconne in F, and Bach's Fantasia in G, BWV 542. Very, very classic organ concert. Now that, and there you see a lovely picture of her. Very interesting person. If I were choosing, I'd find it hard to choose against watching that concert. So we move on to Thursday. Thursday, October 30th, Truro Cathedral live streams its director of music, James Anderson-Besant, playing a space odyssey, music by Holst, Strauss, Messiaen, and David Bowie, to be performed under the artwork Mars, War and Peace by Luke Jerram. They've been doing how shall I put that? They've been doing a whole thing about space with artwork and all of that in the Truro Cathedral. And this is the final recital of the 2025 organ series there. And so they decided to do something that went with all this installation. So he'll be playing Venus, Mars, and Jupiter from Holst the Planets. He'll be playing Strauss's Thus Sprach Zarathustra. He'll be playing Bowie's Life on Mars and some selections by Messiaen. James is as I said, he's the music director at Truro Cathedral. He was formerly at Exeter Cathedral, and before that he was at St. John's College, Cambridge, where he played a lot actually on the BBC, because he was the choir accompanist. and they were constantly on the BBC radio. It's Father Willis organ. As far as I know, Glasgow, I had word from Kevin Bowyer. Glasgow was unable to tell me who's going to be playing today on Wednesday, if anyone, and they're going to be closing down their weekly recitals because their organ is going to be going under renovation for a year. Moving right along. The next concert, I just want to tell you about it briefly. I can't spend too much time on it. I'm not even sure to classify it as an organ concert, but I didn't cover it in the orchestral work, so I'm going to mention it briefly. Wednesday, October 29th, Artbene live streams organist Marina Omelchenko, violinist Maria Drozd, and the Moscow Regional Phil playing Mendelssohn's Violin Concerto and Symphony No. 4. His Italian symphony. That'll be at 7 in the evening European time, 2 o'clock on the East Coast, 10 in the morning on the West Coast, 8 o'clock Moscow time. And actually, that's one of those photographs is a mistake, so I'll remove it. It's more a symphonic concert, but it is the organ. They'll be doing as I said, they'll be doing, in addition to the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto and Symphony No. 4, they will do Franz Schubert's Ave Maria, and that is the reason why I had up the photograph of Elena Terentieva, because she is the soprano who will sing the Schubert's Ave Maria to close the concert. We then move on to the weekly concert that goes on every Friday at 1 o'clock. It's the St. Paul's Episcopal Cathedral in San Diego weekly organ recital with Canon Martin Green, who is a lively, entertaining, and very engaging and articulate organist. Gives you great explanations for the pieces he chooses, which are usually balanced between the U.S. and Europe and between earlier and later composers. Great guy, lovely concert, 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the West Coast, 4 o'clock on the East Coast, and 9 o'clock in the evening this week on Friday evening. The organ is a Quimby pipe organ, Opus 68, with about 5,000 pipes, 4 manuals, 98 stops, and 115 draw knobs. Then we have another interesting, not purely organ concert for you on Saturday, coming from Artbene. When you see that picture, understand what I mean. Saturday, November 1st, organist Fyodor Stroganov and actress Ingeborga Lubomirska retell the story of Johann Sebastian Bach and his wife, Anna Magdalena Bach, along with plenty of preludes, toccatas, and fugues spread in through the story. That'll be at 7:30 in the evening European time, 2:30 on the East Coast in the afternoon, 11:30 in the morning on the West Coast. It's celebrating the 340th anniversary of the birth of Johann Sebastian Bach. And Fyodor Stroganov is an organist of note who teaches at the Moscow Conservatory, comes from a notable Russian family in cultural terms. And the singer and the storyteller is Ingeborga Lubomirska, who plays Anna Magdalena Bach. You see her there, and Fyodor plays Johann Sebastian Bach. But Lubomirska, she appears regularly at the Catholic Cathedral in Moscow, where this takes place. So they'll be doing various, a prelude in C major, a toccata in D minor, a prelude in C minor. It'll be that kind of thing. There will be an aria from the orchestral suite in D major by Bach. And then towards the end, several passages from the St. Matthew Passion, an alto aria, Erbarme dich, mein Gott, and then the Crucifixus and the Dona Nobis Pacem from the St. Matthew Passion. And then we're on to Sunday. We have 2 more live streams to tell you about on Sunday. And here's the first of them. Sunday, November 2nd, Saint Eustache Church in the heart of Paris live streams resident organist Baptiste Florian Marle playing Louis Vierne, Philip Glass, and Camille Saint-Saëns on the great Vanden Heuvel organ. That organ has 7,952 pipes, 115 stops, and 5 manuals. He'll play Cathedral and Feu Follet by Louis Vierne. He'll play Philip Glass's Mad Rush, and then he'll play Camille Saint-Saëns' Danse Macabre, because it's Halloween weekend. And then finally, the last of this week's live streams. Let me get the picture up for you. Is Christopher Keedy. Sunday, November 2nd, Grace Cathedral's Associate Music Director, Christopher Keedy, plays Te Deums by Jean Langlais, Charles Villiers-Stanford, and Dietrich Buxtehude on the great Alexander organ there. That'll be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Pacific Standard Time, 6 o'clock on the East Coast, midnight here in Europe, and 9 o'clock Monday morning down under in Australia. So it's in addition to these three Te Deums, they will also play a Tiento and Communion from the Suite Médiévale by Jean Langlais. But other than that, I've told you everything they're going to be. And they'll be playing a prelude on the theme of Orlando Gibbons, the Angel's Song, which is also by Charles Villiers-Stanford. But these are sandwiched in between these Te Deums. And I suppose it's because, well, it's All Souls Day and All Saints Weekend. So it's a 7,466 pipe Aeolian Skinner instrument. Christopher comes from Eugene, Oregon, but he also studied at Yale University where he got his master's, and he's a concert organist as much as anything else. Folks, this is what we have, and it's a really interesting organ. That's a good size organ. Folks, this is what we have for you this week in terms of organ recitals. I hope that one or any of these live streams uplifts you, interests you, or just shows you a heck of a good time. Depending on your taste, that and how good your Russian is, that piece about the history of the Bach couple could be very interesting to you. With that, I will leave you saying, look, if you're watching this on Facebook, please like the video. But if you watch our clips on any of our other platforms, please don't just like the video, as many of you do. Follow and subscribe to Access Arts Live on YouTube, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and LinkedIn. And I will be back in about 1.5 hours' time at 7 o'clock European time to give you the weekly roundup of chamber music live stream action.